In a midfield conundrum, I have made sure that this single piece of content is all you will be needing to lock in your midfield ahead of game week 1. So listen to the whole content, listen to the whole video, and if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and most importantly hit the bell icon so that you will get notified whenever I upload a video. And without further ado, we'll just get right into it. So I divided the midfield into three price range, one from 6.5 to 9 million, other from 4.5 to 6.5 million, the last one from premium defenders, that is above 9 million. So I've also sorted the midfielders according to who we need in game week 1 and who we will be needing in later game weeks. So as you can see on the screen, I've started with Arsenal midfielders because they are mostly most owned midfielders right now, and I think Saka will be the most owned player in FPL this season up till the deadline. So if you take a look at Saka, Odegaard, and Martinelli's data, I think it's near about same. I have shown the comparison between Saka and Odegaard. So expected minutes for both of them are nearly the same, and expected points for the next three game weeks Saka's are 16.2, whereas Odegaard's are 15.8. For next five game weeks Saka's are 26.7, whereas Odegaard's are 26. So near about same. If you compare it to Martinelli's next three game weeks XP is 14.4, so a little bit lower, and for the next five game weeks is 23.8. But as you know that Saka and Odegaard are priced at 8.5 million, whereas Martinelli is priced at 8 million, and there will be rotation among the Arsenal attackers. And in the preseason games I have seen, I think Saka looks like more of a creator and he's on pens obviously, and Martinelli by far is the best finisher in that Arsenal team. So I think Martinelli at 8.0 million is a steal. I think he will start regularly at the start of the season. He might get his minutes might get cut sometimes due to giving playing time to Trossard and others, but I think all three of them will start. But Saka and Odegaard will get more minutes. So I think a double up on Arsenal attackers is a must. So that could be Saka and Martinelli, Saka and Odegaard, or Saka and Jesus. So I've already talked about triple Arsenal midfield attack in my previous video, so I won't talk about that much. You can also go for a triple Arsenal midfield. So moving on to the Man United assets, Rashford and Fernandes, I've compared the data between the two. So expected minutes, obviously both are solid. Both will play nearly 90 minutes in every single game week. So for next three game weeks, Rashford's expected points are 15.6, whereas Fernandes are 14.9. For next five game weeks, Rashford's are 25, whereas Fernandes is 23.9. Again, not much difference between the two. Whereas Fernandes is on pens, he might be on free kicks and some corner duties too. So I think there's not much to separate these two. Price point, Rashford is zero point 0.5 million costlier than Fernandes. So if you take a look at their fixture run, apart from that Tottenham and Arsenal game, I think they have a very favorable fixture run. So my advice to you is to double up on these two Manchester United assets. And if you don't want to double up, I think if Man United sign a number 9, I think Fernandes will be a better asset, FPL asset, than Rashford. And if they don't, I think Rashford, as you can see, is already a better asset. I say this because for the last 2-3 seasons, Fernandes and Shaw has been creating loads of chances, but those half of those chances go to waste because of lack of number 9 and lack of aerial ability of Man United front three. So I think if we go for like Holland, I think Fernandes will be a bargain at 8.5. So if you have got to pick between the two, I think Fernandes if we sign a number 9 and Rashford if we don't. Then talking about Foden, he's priced only at 10.5, and I know he hasn't started in any of the preseason games, but Gundogan has left, Mahrez is about to leave, Bernardo Silva might also leave, De Bruyne is not fit yet. So taking this situation into consideration, I think Foden might get starts at the start of the season, and I think he's a great asset to have for Pep as he can play in the left wing, right wing, and also through the middle. I think he will be a nailed-on starter for starting at least 5-6 game weeks for City. and I think you got to have another Man City attacker in your team, because most of the people would have a Holland and they will captain him. So if you want to capitalize on Man City attack and fixtures, I think you need to have one more attacker and maybe a defender. So for that, I think Foden is the first choice. So I've taken him in essentials for game week 1. So moving on to the players we should keep an eye for, so that we can bring in for the later game weeks. These are the Liverpool duo Jota and Diaz. Jota obviously is priced 0.5 million higher than Diaz. He is priced at 8.0 million, but he also plays in attacking, that is central ST role for Liverpool. He has played at least in the friendlies, but his minutes are not that guaranteed. As you can see, Jota's expected minutes are 40, only 47 to Diaz's 65. So his data becomes a little bit lower than Diaz, obviously, because for the next 3 game weeks, Diaz's expected points are 14.8 to Jota's 10.2, whereas for next 5 game weeks, this the 24.8 to Diaz's 17.2. And if you take a look at Liverpool's fixtures up till game week 7, I think they have a pretty difficult run of fixtures. They have Chelsea away, Newcastle away, and Aston Villa home in the next 4. Then they have Wolves and West Ham United. So I think they are great fixtures. But again, they have Tottenham and Brighton. So up till game week 8, I think they possibly have 5 to 6 difficult fixtures where I think they can score goals, couple of goals, because their attack has been usually good no matter what. But I think there are better midfield options, as I've said in the earlier, that is the Arsenal and the Man United asset. So you can go for him. And when their fixture take a turn after game week 9, I think you can go for the Liverpool assets. So that's why they are in this category. Then moving on to the Spurs assets, that is Madison and Son. Obviously, Son is a better asset and he's priced at 9.0 million, and Madison is priced at 10.5 million. If uh, actually Tottenham Hotspur don't have that difficult run of fixtures, except that Man United game in second game week, which is a home game, and they have Arsenal and Liverpool in sixth and seventh. But rest of the fixtures up till game week 12 are really good. But the thing is, the Spurs attack depends on Kane a lot. If Kane leaves, I think Son will be on pens and he will be their star man, and Richarlison will start up front, and he is priced as a midfielder in this game. So Richarlison will be a steal at that price range. And I think if Kane leaves, mm Madison, if Kane stays, I think Madison will be a great asset. So if Kane stays, I think Madison at 7.5 is a no-brainer. And if Kane leaves, I think Richarlison and Son suddenly becomes a far greater options than Madison. And if that makes sense, so I think they are a hold for now. I think they are a sit and watch at least till game week 2. And later you can pounce on them. If Kane leaves, I think Richarlison without a doubt will be a great asset. Then moving on to the others, that is Bowen and Sterling. So actually, if you take a look at West Ham's fixture run, their fixtures turns great in game week 18, I think. Right now they have Bournemouth, Chelsea, Brighton, Luton, and Man City. So Man City, Brighton, and Chelsea are difficult run of fixtures. Bowen has scored a couple of goals in the preseason. He's priced at 7.0 million. But West Ham are not that attacking of a team. We have better midfield assets I've shown earlier, so I won't go for him right now. And about Sterling, as I've said, Chelsea have better run of fixtures after game week 2, I guess. They have Liverpool in first, then it's London Derby, then Chelsea have great run of fixtures from game week 3 to game week 8, so you can go for Chelsea attackers at that time. But I think Nkunku will be on fence, Sterling will be a nailed on attacker, so I think he's a wait and watch for now. I think Nkunku and Jackson are better assets, and you can go for one of the defenders. So for first 2 game weeks, we'll see how their attacking play pans out, and later we can pounce on them. So this is all for the 6.5 to 9 million price range. So moving on to the 4.5 to 6.5 million price range. So one of the best questions this year in FPL, whether to go with Mitoma or BMO. So you can see I've compared the two here. So if you take a look at their expected points for the next 3 game weeks, Mitoma has 12, BMO has 11.8, so slightly lower. For next 5, whereas BMO goes in front of Mitoma with 19.6, whereas Mitoma has 19.5, so not that much into this. So if you take a look at their fixture list, I think Mitoma has a great first three run of fixtures, but overall, up till 10 to 14 game weeks, I think BMO has better run of fixtures than Brighton, and Brighton and Brentford are near about same above mid-table teams, I guess. Brighton are much more attacking than Brentford, so you can have your pick. I think Bemo will be on pens. He plays out wide for them for Brentford, and he's among goals always. Same can be said about Mitoma. So my verdict on this is go with the player who rotates well with your defenders and attackers. So yeah, so these two are in the list. So moving on to the player who is pretty much been overlooked this season. Don't know why. He has a pretty much similar data to Mitoma. He's its teammate March. As you can see, expected points over the 3 game weeks 11.7. Next 5 game weeks it's 18.9. So similar data, and he's on some set piece duties too. He's on corners too. So I don't know why his ownership is this low. His expected minutes are a bit lower than Mitoma, not much difference, but he's owned by only 3.2% of managers. So if you want to go for a differential, you can go for March. Another one is Eze. So as Zaha has left, I think he will be on pens. He's already on set piece duties. Uh, Crystal Palace are not as good as a team as Brighton or Brentford, but they are a bit lower. But I think Eze is the star man. I think everything will go through him and Olise this season, and they have good run of fixtures. They have Sheffield, then Arsenal. Apart from that, Brentford, Wolves, Aston Villa, and Fulham. So first 6 game weeks. Apart from that Arsenal game, I think Sheffield, Crystal Palace have a better run of fixtures than Brighton and Brentford. So you can go for Eze. As you can see from the screen, he is included in the essential category for game week 1 among the 4.5 to 6.5 midfielders. Then, if you want to go for a cheaper midfield option, that is, if you are likes of Salah or Trent in your team, then you will need to downgrade that midfielder into a cheaper than 6.5 million midfielder. You can go for Encisco, though I'm not guaranteed a starter, or I don't think he will get near about 90 minutes in any of the starting 3 4 game weeks, but because there will be rotation, because Brighton have loads of attacking players, so I think there will be rotation no matter who you go for. So going for Cisco at 5.5 million is not a bad idea. In one of the preseason games he got subbed on in place of Mitoma, so that was interesting to see. He usually plays through the middle, so if you want a cheaper option through that Brighton team, I think he's the one you can go for. And also I've included Bernardo Silva in later game weeks, that is play to watch, cause he's priced at only 6.5 million. Man City have best run of fixtures. Man City are the best team in the world, and as I said earlier, many of the midfielders in Man City's team have left, and he's like kind of player like Grealish who does his work before the goal action. Therefore, he doesn't get those assists and goals same like Grealish. That is, he's not that great of a FPL asset. But if he starts regularly on that right wing position or even through the middle, I think he will be a great asset at that 6.5 million range. So that remains to be seen. Hence, he's on the later game weeks. Then moving on, I've gone for two Aston Villa assets, that is Buendia and Diaby. So Diaby is priced at 6.5 million and Buendia I think is a bit cheaper. So if you take a look at Aston Villa's fixture list, they have Newcastle away in first, then they have Liverpool away in fourth. I think Everton under Sean Dyche might improve having a preseason, and I think they can be a defensively solid. Then Crystal Palace among the mid-table teams, I think they had a better defense last season. Then it's Chelsea, then it's Brighton. So I think Aston Villa's players are an avoid till game week 6. Midfielders at least you can go for Watkins if you want to, but after that I think from game week 8 to game week 14 I think they have a great run of fixtures. Only Tottenham in between at game week 13. Rest all are green FDR fixtures. So I think Diaby or Bindia from game week 8 is a great choice. So I've included him in this later game week. Moving on to the premium midfielders, so there are only two, that is Salah and De Bruyne. So De Bruyne right now is wait and see just because he's injured, he's not fit. We'll get a more idea about his fitness in the Community Shield. So that's why, as you can see, he's unfit. His expected minutes are low. That's why his expected points are low. But if he gets fit, I think Man City have best run of fixtures. You can definitely go for him. Talking about Salah, Salah's obviously data is strong as always. He's a premium midfielder. You can go for him if you want, but if you go for him, you have to downgrade on your 8.5 to 9 million midfielders. You would also have to find a 5.5 or around 6 million midfielder who is a nailed on starter, or a 6 million forward who is a nailed on starter. So right now I don't have any of that in mind. I don't fancy that actually, so I don't have Salah actually in my draft, but I think he's in the essential bracket. If you go for him, do you need to find those assets, as I said, 5.5 million in midfield and 6 million in attack. So if you fancy those, I think he's essential, as I said. So this is how the table finally looks like, as you can see on the screen. And I have also rated the midfielders accordingly in their price range. So from 6.5 to 9 million price range, I think Saka is the best, followed by Bruno Fernandes, Martinelli, then Odegaard. Sorry, Saka is the best, followed by Rashford, Martinelli, Bruno Fernandes, and then Odegaard. Then it's Foden, Son, and Madison, and obviously then it's Luis Diaz, Jota, Sterling, and Bowen. And for 4.5 to 6.5 million midfielders, I think Bournemouth just ages past Mitoma, and then there's March and Eze. Then you can go for Enciso if you want to save some money, and then it's Diaby and Buendia, and then Bernardo. And for premium midfielders, I think Salah and De Bruyne. So do let me know, guys, what do you think of this in the comment section below. And if you have enjoyed watching the video, make sure you like the video and subscribe to my channel. And I hope you get your midfield sorted for game week 1 by watching this video. And if it has helped, make sure you tune in for my next videos, and good luck for game week.